Does everybody know what time it is?
Uptime!
That's right. FleetPride is proud to present Kevin the Shopman Linger.
I'm really not feeling up to it today. I just feel like no matter what, I can't get ahead because no one will listen. There's no one to talk to. The needs of the market are confusing. My business doesn't know what direction to steer into. I can't communicate with anyone to get the products I need. I'm all out of sorts, and if only there was someone who could help me get back in ship shape, put everything back together. Hey, wait. We're talking to category managers from FleetPride? They're exactly the people who can help. Some of you may notice we've got not one but two guests today on Uptime, which, like most of my life, makes me the third wheel. But I'm very happy to introduce our two category managers from FleetPride. We have Candice Bolivar and Chris Anchondo. Guys, how's everyone doing today?
Appreciate you having us.
Great, Kevin. Thank you for having us.
Well, this is all about maintaining order, building strong relationships. So to start that, we're going to do this one by one. If you have something, chime in afterward. We just don't want to talk over everyone all the time. That's not good for a strong relationship. So Chris, starting with you, what are some specific ways you build trust with suppliers, and how do you measure the effectiveness of those strategies?
Kevin, I think the most important thing is transparent communication. Right? Is there open lines of feedback back and forth, whether it's to supplier versus distributor? I think having an open line of communication, whether you're talking about areas of success, you're talking about areas of improvement, is very key. Engagement, consistency, whether that's weekly meetings, touch points, bi-weekly meetings, monthly, even quarterly business review, going a long way. You know, you're discussing market changes, you're addressing any challenges that arise. And when I think about FleetPride, we have a yearly supplier event where suppliers will come in and get a booth and talk to our field, and vice versa. As distributor, we'll visit suppliers' facilities, right? It really helps build rapport, helps show investment in the partnership. I think from a measurement perspective, when you're talking about KPIs, I think the most key there is there agreed KPIs? Are you guys agreeing that these are the most important things to be measuring? And again, having those touch points, talking about your performance, whether it's a quarterly basis, monthly basis, really goes a long way. And I think the last thing, when you think about willingness to collaborate, is very key. When you talk about negotiations, flexibility, all those things are really important strategies to improving performance overall on both sides.
Candice, I want to ask you kind of the same thing, but we're looking at a different aspect of it now. So what roles do reliability and communication play when you're fostering long-term partnerships with suppliers? Obviously, we've got the business side of things, but what about the personal aspect of it all?
Well, reliability, you certainly know who you can count on when it's crunch time. A trusted supplier reacts quickly to address issues, like if there's supply issues that they know are going to arise in the near future, or taking responsibility for quality concerns and addressing those problems quickly. So that reliability builds trust to both our internal and external customers here at FleetPride. And to me, that's really important on both sides. It's critical to me that we are seen as a valued partner also to our suppliers. And as far as communication, I'll echo what Chris said. I believe that weekly or bi-weekly supplier meetings are key to continued growth and success. Reviewing initiative performance, sales trends, market trends, working through issues and challenges, and taking the time to really strategize together on opportunities to drive the business and to engage our customers. We ask a lot of our suppliers and we have high expectations, but that also means supporting their needs, building trust, frequent communication, transparency, aligning our expectations, and all of this ultimately leading to higher end customer satisfaction.
Quick follow-up, and this can go to either of you. When you're saying weekly or bi-weekly check-ins, how in-depth are these talks, and what are you checking in on?
I think for me, in my world, it's bi-weekly check-ins are really, we have an agenda set where we're talking about sales, we're talking about inventory concerns from the supplier side, what kind of strategy are we putting in place if we foresee raw material shortages, marketing initiatives, all the above, really. And when you're constantly meeting, you never have surprises, and it really goes a long way to really make sure you're both growing.
Right. That actually kind of leads into this question. So what steps do you take, Chris, to understand the unique needs of your fleet customers? How does that influence what products you're sourcing from suppliers?
Yeah, number one is always who are we partnering with from a supplier perspective. We have a lot of OE suppliers who foresee what the market looks like 5 to 7 years from now. How are we planning that? I think there's a lot of data driven that we can look at from a third party perspective, monitoring fleet cycles, warranty claims, things like that. I think from a decision perspective, when you talk about innovation, you really want to partner with suppliers who are innovating versus just selling repeats. Really goes a long way for us. And from a strategic stocking perspective, what investments does FleetPride want to look into? When I think about new product rollouts, is like ADB brakes, the rollout of 1234YF. What does that look like, and how do we influence that? So it's really just partnering with those key suppliers to really make sure you're up to date in the aftermarket.
Speaking of up to date, Candice, you get the big word problem for the day. Technology is rapidly advancing in the heavy-duty industry, especially now when multiple alternative fuels are being pursued as routes for fleet decarbonization. Now, is this leading you to reach out to more suppliers to find suitable products, or are your current suppliers expanding their own offerings?
Yes, technology is rapidly advancing in the heavy-duty industry. Automation, data analytics, connectivity features, and alternative fuels, as you mentioned. And all of this is going to lead to enhanced safety, increased productivity, cost savings, and improved sustainability. For Class 6 to 8, I believe that we're really looking at 5 to 10 years down the road for alternative power like electric vehicles, biodiesel. However, I think it's really important today that we keep our product offerings updated with the newest technologies and educating our customers of that need. So we need to really lean on our suppliers and also to be resourceful on our own to make sure that we understand those opportunities. We want to be first to market and leading the way in this ever-changing heavy-duty world. So we'll really need to lean on our suppliers to educate us on those advancements.
Sounds good. Makes a lot of sense. And leaning in on suppliers, there can also, as we talked about, Chris, we had the upsides to supplier relationships, but unfortunately where there's ups, there's downs. So what are some challenges in supplier relationships, and how can these conflicts be resolved, especially when it's someone, like Candice said, that you really need to lean on?
So miscommunication or lack of transparency would be number one. Having communication gaps are always going to lead to common challenges. When you think of priorities, do you guys have conflicting priorities? Misalignment on goals. Are both parties approaching new opportunities and market shifts the same? Those are kind of the common challenges that we kind of deal with. You think about supply chain disruptions. You think about just the East Port that just happened recently. Do you have a plan in place to really go through it? I think as far as solving these conflicts is being proactive in communication. It goes back to these biweekly meetings we talk about, making sure there's no surprises. You're having regular business reviews. It really helps the overall improvement of the business.
Candice, we've got the last question of the day for you, and this is a big one for customers. So what channels are there for customers to give feedback to suppliers, and are there any real-world examples you have of that feedback leading to improvements in development, whether it's a product that's out or maybe something coming in the future?
Well, Kevin, the list is almost endless these days of feedback channels. Good old face-to-face meetings at a branch or a sales call, phone calls, emails, and now live chat, online reviews, and social media. So sales trends are also a good indicator for our suppliers, and I believe it's really important that we share that information. Our sales trends know when things are great and customers are happy, and we can partner to drive that momentum. When we see a concerning trend, we can pull data and react quickly to understand the issues together. As a category manager, we're a really great funnel of feedback from our internal and external customers to our supplier partners, taking that feedback to them, partnering on a solution, whether it's updating packaging, revising specs, adjusting our assortment, or launching a new product based on need. It's critical that we both listen to our customers and create solutions together.
That really sounds like the answer across the board here is communicate, listen, and make sure you're doing the best for suppliers and for your customers. It's a complex thing to do, but that's why we have people like Candice Bolivar and Chris Anchondo to help us do it. Thank you both for your time today. I appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin, for having us.
I don't know about all of you guys, but I certainly feel better knowing that there are people who have my back. They're willing to listen to me and communicate, talk about trends of the market, the needs of my business, work things out to make sure I'm steering my ship in the right direction. As we sail off into the sunset, until next time, you know what time it is. Uptime!